Can you hear this, Kitos?
That's 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
I can hear it.
Oh, I don't have my notes are over there. I'll be right back.
All right.
And hello, Cellcast, or anyone else who's there.
Revolution. That's so weird. Because you appear without the sunglasses, then they just
I wasn't hearing you.
appear
What did
for
you
a
say?
second. You appear without the sunglasses for a second, and then you appear with them. It's pretty funny.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I have glasses on, so it's like a dual glass citizenship. Yeah, that's what this is. Oh, finally. Oh, sorry. Cardinal, I didn't mean to finally you. I thought that was Paul. Hey, Cardinal, how you doing? Or David. I forget. I have to go by David now.
Hold on.
I'm still... Okay, no worries. I'm still sort of getting set up, so no biggies.
Okay. Yeah. Same here.
And I don't like that bullets come up on this one, so I'm going to change my... What? Not that. Change the filter to the other sunglass one.
Oh, forgot my shades.
Yeah, geez. Get your shades on. Come on, man.
Give me a second. I'm surprised that's working.
Start that one. Minimize this. Ashley says, hoping y'all have a good podcast. Thank you. We'll be muting and mostly away to avoid spoilers. After seeing the first Matrix, I fully intend to see the others. Nice, Ashley. Yeah, definitely worth watching. Hey, D Tungsten. LOL, you were a redhead, for instance. I know. I don't know what was going on there. But glad you all are here. It's a glitch in the Matrix. Yes, exactly. So I'm still getting set up. We're still waiting for Paul, but we'll be starting soon, I believe, or at least soon-ish, maybe. I am going to mute you for now, Enthusiast, just until you're all set up. Okay, let's see. Gotta get this set up, so we're gonna go with David, Kitos, Paul, and me. And then, oh, shoot. I set up my notes wrong. Oh, well. We'll just have to find a way to survive, guys. Hopefully we can survive. Oh, nice. He found his shades. Okay, I'm gonna unmute you, David. There you go.
Were you hearing a lot of the background noise?
Yes.
Sorry.
No worries. So Kitos and David, you guys do not have to record your own because I'm using an upgraded version of this restream, so it actually will record everyone's separate tracks through it,
cool.
So you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hold on just a sec.
Okay, I mean you can if you want like a fail-safe or something, but you don't have to.
I trust technology, you know?
Yeah, technology's never turned us down, aka the Matrix. Wait a second.
Yeah, exactly.
Not turned us down, but turned on us, I should say.
Yeah.
I'll go through our checklist here momentarily, guys. Thank you both for making time for this. Really, really appreciate that.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Dude, for the Matrix, I'll make time.
My kids think I'm rocking. They're
rocking?
like they're making the gesture.
Nice.
So.
Let's see. And this one and this one. Okay. Let me while we're here, have you both of you gotten your likes and dislikes to one like and a classic maker, one dislike and a tragic maker?
Yes.
Wait. So one like, one classic maker, one dislike, one tragic maker?
Correct. Since we have whenever we have more than one guest, we usually just go to that.
Okay. Yeah, I can cut mine down.
Okay, cool. Thank you. There's Paul, the master interrupting himself.
Okay.
Hey, Paul.
How are you doing, Paul?
Hey, guys.
What's up, Paul?
I'm glad we're all able to meet in the Matrix.
I know, right?
Kitos, it's not a big deal, but it might make more sense for you to have your picture in the center of the Matrix thing. Yeah, there you go.
Wow, you can do that.
I don't know how to do the filter thing, so I'm just going with what I got.
No worries at all. So let's see. D-Tongue says, I jumped over Twitch. Awesome. Actually, it would be a glitch in the Matrix if there were a few Ednas. You know what, Ashley? There's going to be tons
Have
of
you already
wait,
counted
no,
the
there's
Ednas
gonna
yet?
Be 0 Ednas. No, we haven't done that yet.
And are we doing like in the middle after reloaded? Then we're gonna reset the Edna count.
Well, I'm not going to be able to reset it that way, so it's just going to continue on.
My Matrix ability is limited.
Is there going to be something that happens to me? Is there going to be something that happens to me to switch over to the other guest host?
Yes, but there will be bits of you left, but your outer shell will change.
Yes, I'm sure.
D. Tungsten says, all I see is blonde, brunette, redhead. Yeah, you know.
Good
Go
call.
find Sam Gerard. Go find Marshall Gerard. Come on.
And Ashley says, wishing you all the best and practicing 6 Ednas for both. Wow. Yeah. Or predicting. We're not doing Austin Powers, Paul. I'll be listening to the original Matrix. Awesome, Ashley. Okay, I'm almost set up, guys. I just want to get set up here for Revolution. Oh, but no, David, to answer your question, we're not doing anything special to change. We're just sort of like, okay, spiritual speculation over. Thank you, David. Gonna bring on Dallas, and we'll do it that way.
Okay.
I didn't plan anything cool for a transition, since that went. Okay. This isn't gonna be like released same day, back to back. It's gonna. I think I'm gonna space out over a week or the normal 2 weeks. So it wouldn't make sense to have anything there. I would love. I couldn't think. I wish there was some sort of auditory embellishment we could do at the end. Well, but with the Reloaded,
it's our Oracle died. We got another one.
It's all visual with, and I'll keep spoilers to minimum right now, but because we haven't done our spoiler alert. But you know how they visually sort of cliffhanger Reloaded at the end, but I can't think of how to do that auditorily. So, okay, not listening. Spoilers. Okay, no worries, Ashley. Oh my gosh, with your Austin Powers, Paul. But so glad you're all here. Really, really looking forward to covering these movies with you all. Yeah, baby. Let's see, Dallas, Kitos, Paul, and me.
Did you already
do the checklist? I haven't done the checklist or anything.
All right. I'll let you do it because it's on the checklist, but you might miss it. But okay, I'll let you do your thing.
Okay, thank you. David, did you have an opportunity to? I did ask them already about likes and dislike culling, Paul. But David, did you have a chance to watch the Young Indiana Jones episode?
I did.
I'm sorry.
Spoiler.
Keithos said he did.
Good.
I did, and Paul did. So we're all there. Did you guys have spiritual speculations for this movie?
I'm sure I could come up with one when we get
to
it.
From this movie? No way.
Yeah. I have a comment, not a question.
Yeah,
and a verse. So if you want to elaborate.
Fantastic. Yes, fantastic. And then I have more of a free will-ish discussion, not a free willy discussion. Where's Michael Jackson? For this one. But okay, let me get the checklist up, and then we'll try to get rolling here. Rolling on a river.
All right.
Rolling.
Can I take a moment? Come back.
Yeah, go for it, Paul.
All right.
What?
So I have my show notes here, ready for that, but let's do the checklist. Okay. Yep. That's good. Oh, I do want to turn this one up, though. Okay. So that's about where I am. Boom. Okay. While we're waiting for Paul, David, can you just tell me something about your day so I can check your audio?
I am surrounded by Christmas.
Okay.
There's a Christmas tree to my left. The yard is beginning to Christmas look. My family is just now leaving. My kid is going to a Nerf gun world.
Can you turn yourself up some, or do you have any space to do that?
I hold on 1 second. Is that any better?
You have to talk. I don't know.
Let me try that. I think it's if not, let me try something else and see if I can get myself to be a little louder.
Okay, I can also turn it up on Restream, and I can always turn it up since we have different tracks, it'll be fine. But
Yeah,
I think you're.
I'm on a head like one of those Walmart special headsets.
Okay. Then don't worry about it. Kitos, can I tell me about your day, please?
Yeah, so I ended up waking up kind of late and quickly watching the Indiana Jones episode.
Fair.
It was
can
good.
you turn yourself up a little bit, please?
Turn my stuff up. What?
Just your audio.
Let's see. How do we
Awesome
do
shirt,
this?
Paul, by the way. Oh, he didn't hear that. I said awesome shirt, Paul, by the way. You can't hear me.
No,
What's going on? Oh, okay. I said
He probably
awesome
muted.
shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's there. There's a retro heart in there, and inside is the machines.
Hey, Francisco, can you turn me up at all?
Yeah, I can turn you up. That's fine. If you
Okay,
can't work,
because I can't change my settings from where they're at.
Paul, can you
No.
tell me about your day, Paul? Do it.
Oh, I thought you were asking me to turn myself up. No,
You will have to turn yourself up. I can tell.
I can't.
You can't or you won't.
I can't. I literally like all the knobs are the highest they can go.
You know, I realize you're all needing to go up, so I'm just going to turn you back all down in Restream and then turn you up in my mixer.
Yeah, you do what you need to do. My knobs haven't changed in 3 years.
G-Sunction, speaking of waking up late, I'm still asleep. Oh, gosh. Paul is always at 11.
Yeah. I can never get to 12.
Just to reduce the amount of time, guys, I'm not going to worry about the whole predicting your guys' final rating or anything like that. I want to figure out a more...
bring the beans.
I know I have them. I just want to find a better streamlined way of doing that. I feel like the way we're doing it now is kind of clunky, so I just want to figure out a more in-show, better way of doing that. Because I think that is a fun element. But, okay.
Yes.
Are we recording on our end or no?
You don't have to. You can if you want to, Paul, but I'm not. I told Kitos
What's
and
the
David that they don't have
point?
to.
You're not going to even ask for my recording. Hashtag Austin Powers.
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, I'll ask you guys if you have a hard stop time, but sort of for this episode, have a hard stop time of about 2 hours from now. So, let's see. Asked about spiritual topics. David, did you say if you had a spiritual speculation or not?
I do.
Okay, cool. I need my chapstick. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Richard Gere. Every time.
That's my favorite movie.
Oh my gosh. Where's the Matrix soundboard, Paul?
Oh, hold on. Have we started yet?
Not officially, but I mean the live stream is going.
Do you want to start with this one?
Very delayed live stream.
It's delayed?
Or
Yeah,
on
we
my
have-
end it is.
Oh, yeah. If you're watching, like trying to watch it also, yeah, it's always going to be delayed some.
Yeah.
Hey, co-op trio. Is this a simulation? Yes. Yes. We're simulating what it's like to record a podcast.
Practice for now.
Let's see, got that,
I
got
had one
that.
other question, but I guess it doesn't matter.
No, you can ask. That's fine.
No, I don't remember what it is.
Oh, okay. D-Tongue says whiskey. Oh, wait. That's Indiana Jones. Oh, my gosh. Whiskey.
Yeah, we're about to scratch the bottle over somebody's head.
Exactly. I know, Dad. Well, it's a new experience for me. Happens to me all the
All the
time.
time.
I just realized, Paul, that we're not only going to be completing 3 trilogies before this year because we completed a Karate Kid at the beginning of the year.
Yes. Are we?
So
but that's next year.
No, the trilogy we've
okay,
completed.
Yeah. Oh well, 3 for 3, right?
Exactly. No, 3 for 4.
Wait.
4 for 3.
4 for 3.
Indiana Jones, The Matrix, Karate
Spider-Man.
Kid. Oh, and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All right, I can count.
Hello, Neo Retro. Hello, Bobo.
Neo's so retro.
All right, we don't have any new guests, so I think we can probably get going here. I just want to swig this one more time, and then we can go.
And hello, everyone in chat.
Yes, hello, you guys. We'll be asking for your predictions and all that here shortly.
All right, 56 Edna modes. Here we come.
0. We're going for 0. The big goose egg Edna modes.
Right.
Don't give me this. Everyone falls the first time stuff. I can make that jump.
So you think you're ready to jump into the Matrix?
Exactly. There is no spoon. I'm ready to be unplugged. A new man, so to speak. Practically free. All right. So I have a, who am I impersonating here?
And continue to be.
You see, this is only one constant, one universal. It is the only truth. Causality, action, reaction, cause and effect.
Go fight Kurt Pitt.
Unless any of you feel like you can do a Merovingian a lot better than me.
Wee, ha, ha.
Oh my God.
No. I liked him better in Sahara.
But of course. Can't you tell by my outrageous accent?
Oh my gosh. Okay. See you later, Ashley. 4 Ednas, Bobo, and 6 Ednas from Ashley. Oh my gosh. Bobo says, "Hey Ashley, how is the remembrance of the day of your birth?" 1 Edna, but Neo will fix it. Yeah, exactly. 0 Ednas because
there is only one constant, one universal. It is the only real truth. Causality, action, reaction. This is going far too long. Just listen to this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
No.
Cut, print, move along.
Well, I mean, it's in the recording, so I may go with that. I don't know.
I hope you come up with something better.
No.
No.
No. I mean, I hope it sounds better.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't have another idea. Something to keep in mind for people watching the stream, and us too, as well, hosting. I will be turning the stream off in between shows, so it starts a new recording, and also it.
Don't unplug me, man.
And I'll be renaming the title and all that. So just be aware of that happening.
Good. I'll take a bathroom break then.
Oh, exactly. That's totally fine. All right, then I'm just gonna review my likes real quick because I forgot to do that.
I liked this movie.
Oh my gosh.
Are
you Teen Girl Squad right now, Paul? So and so.
Sorry.
The ugly one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay.
I lost you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Did you
Okay,
lose
thumbs
me?
up if you. We can hear
Oh,
you,
no.
Dave. Can you hear us? I guess not.
Can you hear?
I can't hear you. Hang on.
All
Okay.
right.
I hear Paul. Kitos, can you talk real quick?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you. I can
Okay,
hear. I just heard somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Okay,
good.
I heard D Tungsten. I mean, I heard Cool Dog,
Kitos.
but I can't hear
Yeah.
Paul or Francisco.
What?
What? That's weird.
Stop
That
whining.
is weird.
Hold on.
I can hear him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's my fault. I flipped off where I was streaming, and I'm like, oop, I gotta keep that up.
That might help. Yes.
Hello.
Can you hear me now? Good. Yes, exactly.
I don't know if they can hear
Wait
me.
for it.
I can't hear them.
Oh,
Yeah,
they can
reboot.
hear you.
Yes, we
Reboot.
can hear.
Okay, I can't. hear what
Reload
they're
your
saying.
Matrix program.
Hold on. Hold on.
Do 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 do.
Say something, Paul.
Dude.
Something,
Paul. Something,
I've
Paul.
been
on it.
talking.
Take it
Talk.
back.
Take
Oh,
it
gosh.
back.
Goodbye.
Matrix needs a reboot. Exactly, D-Tungsten.
Yeah.
No, it needs to be reloaded.
Ah,
Wink, wink.
Well done.
Reload this on this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Bend It Like Beckham needs a reboot. Oh my gosh. Does it?
I never saw the first one. Heard it was good.
I've never seen it either. Das Boot needs a reboot.
Das Boot.
Das Reboot.
Matrix
my word.
DOS reboot.
Oh my word. I listened to our Matrix, our first Matrix episode, and a lot of it was pretty solid, I'd say.
Oh, nothing flimsy. Like you can go right through the coding of it.
No, for some reason, I'm not sure if it's because I was on my previous mic or whatnot, but I sound younger or something. I'm not sure
probably
what it is.
because you were.
Well, yes, I was. It was our 5th year, and next year is our 10th. So yeah, I'm 4 years older.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means I age, Paul. What is this, a boot? Oh my gosh. Trying to sign back in. Okay, thank you, Cardinal.
So are we calling him Cardinal or his real...
I'm calling him David on the stream.
Okay. Are we all using our hacker names like Neo and Trinity? And...
Retro. You're just PaulGPowers.com. That's your hacker name.
Bitch
Or would
can't
it be-
guess my website.
Would it be Master Interrupter? I'm not sure. Massint. So I have I'll let you guys start thinking of the trivial question part now.
Which one? Oh.
So,
tell us.
I'm not going to tell you the exact question,
Oh,
but I want you guys to start thinking of your favorite biblical or mythological characters. So start thinking of those.
Biblical or mythological characters.
Yeah.
Boy, that's quite a gamut. Jesus.
Methuselah. Oh my gosh. All right, go. Given my question, I'd be very interested to see if you go with that.
Well, good. I'm glad you can hear us, Cardinal. Can you see us? Because we can't see or hear you.
I don't think. Let's see. Did he come back in? I'm sorry if you did. Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that.
He's
Cardinal.
been waiting this whole time.
What do you want from me? I didn't hear the Bing thing. All right.
Chandler.
Can you hear me?
us
Okay,
now?
can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we hear
Awesome.
Fantastic.
My fault, guys. My bad.
No worries. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Very true, Paul.
you.
Very
Okay,
true.
I
good.
have a mythological character.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Oh, so I just said. Oh, you heard me say that about biblical or mythological character, David.
Yes,
To
I
be
did.
thinking of that. Okay.
I'm a mythologian.
All right.
A myth
Either
theologian.
give me a visual or an auditory thumbs up if you're ready for us to start the actual show recording.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2. You see, there is only one constant, one universal. It is the only real truth. Causality. Action, reaction, cause, and effect. Download and listen to this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Reflux capacitor, fluxing, crew, distinctions. Scanning for The Matrix Reloaded, 2003. Prepare to rewind in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the Master Hacker Interrupter Powers.
You mean me?
Also, for this discussion of the film The Matrix Reloaded, we welcome back aboard the tactics officer of the pod, Quitos Ruiz.
Thank you for having me back.
Always a
Yeah.
pleasure to have you back, Quitos. And in addition to Quitos, we welcome back aboard host of the Enthusiast podcast, David Gardner. Welcome back, David.
Thank you for having me, Francisco. Glad to be back aboard the ship.
Awesome. And this is actually your third time on the pod. You know what that
Whoa.
means.
You owe taxes.
Send me I work for the government now, so, just let me know.
All right.
I think it means I become official member of the crew.
That is correct. You become a shipman of the pod. So what department would you like to serve in?
Tactical research.
Tactical research. Okay, interesting. Then you'll probably be working under Kitos, so just be aware of that. He's can be a slave driver sometimes.
I got a
Get
whole
those
list of
reports
games for you
in.
to play.
Well, congratulations, David, and thank you so much for being on the show. And now that you have a quick flyby of who we are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for The Matrix Reloaded?
Wow, that was reloaded several times. But all right. Matrix Reloaded was released May 7th in the year 2003. It runs 18 minutes over the 2-hour mark and is rated R. It was directed and written by the Wachowski brothers, and who knows what they're going by now, depending on when you hear this. The lead stars being Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, and Carrie Moss, and the music was composed by Don Davis. Are you ready for the box office trivia?
I am ready, Kitos and David.
Fire away.
I'm ready.
Awesome. And everyone watching live, feel free to join in as well. Paul, go ahead.
All right, The Matrix Reloaded was made for around $130 to $150 million and earned over $730 million at the box office.
Oh, my word. That's so much.
So, given this and the fact that it was released theatrically in the year 2003, how high do you think it ranks among the other box office? Sorry, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the other movies released theatrically in 2003? We'll go for the top 50.
Top 50. Okay, let's start with David. What is your guess?
I'm going to guess number 5.
5. Kitos?
I'm going to guess number 1.
Number 1. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess number 3. Let's see. D. Tungsten guesses 4. Neko guesses 2. So we all
top
have
5.
a high view of this here. Let's see. Any other guesses? And of course, Bobo says 42 or maybe 2. All right. All right, Paul. Where did it rank in the top 50 movies of 2003?
I'm sorry, but Lord of the Rings: Return of the King came at number 1.
Of course, I forgot about that one.
Oh wow!
Oh, Matrix Reloaded came in at number 3, and you got it right anyway, Captain.
Yes, that's right.
Oh wow, nice.
I mean, I accept this honor with great gratitude, and
a Disney movie helped that because Finding Nemo was number 2. So I'm sure you.
Oh,
appreciate
really?
Disney
Wow.
for that.
No,
Dude, 2003 was a good year.
Yeah.
Well, it was the number 1 rated R movie until Deadpool, so that's why I think a lot of people put it high.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, very cool. And thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Alice has located our target film.
Alert, alert. Approaching target. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
Not you, fellas. He's just a man. Kill him. What if I asked you to stay out of this? No matter what, to stay out of the Matrix.
Why?
I can't lose you.
You're not gonna lose me.
The Matrix Reloaded, rated R, starts Thursday, May 15th.
Wow, that's a lot of action.
It is a lot of action. It started May 13th. It's reloaded our memories, in fact. And here's your memory mind melt synopsis of The Matrix Reloaded.
Oh, sorry, Perry White's calling.
The Matrix Reloaded.
Operator.
It was a Morpheus joke if you get the whole Superman connection.
Neo is the chosen one doing his Superman thing, and we get shown around Zion with everyone coming up to Neo very starry-eyed. Then find out the Sentinels are coming. Trench-coated Ted Theodore Logan. Oh my gosh! Ted Theodore Logan visits the Oracle and is jumped by 1,000 Agent Elrons. park bench. Insane chase down a freeway with Trinity, some dreadlock dudes, and a guy with the key to everything, including a bike. After a showdown on the freeway, Neo is stuck at a train station in and out of the Matrix. With the help of the Keymaster, but no gatekeeper, they are able to set Neo free. But Trinity dies, so Neo pulls Bullet out of Trinity and then uses powers in the real world to destroy a machine that gets completely knocked out by using his powers. Neo is laying in the infirmary with a fellow freedom fighter. Unfortunately, Agent Smith has somehow hacked the body, and it's time for the movie. I mean, a lot of that was right, but there was definitely some elements that were deceptive. Particularly the whole train thing doesn't happen until the next movie. Almost. But based on those memories, as flawed as they were, what rating did they lead you to predict for this film before rewatching it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Let's start with Kitos this time.
Oh, so easy. Classic. I thought it would be a classic. Yeah.
Okay. David, what was your prediction?
Nostalgic.
Nostalgic. How about you, Paul?
I'm one of those weird people that actually liked this movie, so I predicted classic.
You said it's like 730 million. I don't think you're one.
Well, a lot of people are
few.
like, no, only the first movie exists. You know, that kind of thing. Like, the other two aren't as
Nathan
good,
James Norman. We'll get to your comment later. For me, I also predicted classic. So it'll be interesting to see if those predictions pan out. But first, let's get into our discussion of the things we liked about The Matrix Reloaded. Let's boot up our
Best 3.
Or best 2 in the case of us having 2 guests. So let's begin with David. What is something you enjoyed about The Matrix Reloaded?
I really liked the visual style and kind of even the contrast between Zion or the real world in this one and the Matrix. You could tell that, there is a difference, except for one part when the people are coming in, that thing is very clean for Zion.
Yeah. The all white space and
no, that's in the Matrix. They're plugged in.
No. It's in the construct. Yeah. No, it's in the construct, just like in the first movie.
It's
like he's starting that white area.
Those people that are doing like in the white screen, they show later that they're all plugged in. It's like
into the construct that is the program for that simulation of the flight control.
Wait, so you're not saying the white thing is in the real world?
No.
The white room. Okay, sorry. I thought that's what you were saying. I don't get what this construct is.
Okay, so
what's too clean? The area that they're seated around, that they're plugged into for the real world? He said a part of the real world was too clean. Is that correct?
Oh, maybe David? I misunderstood. Yeah, go ahead, David.
I mean, if you think it's a program that the gatekeepers in Zion are in, then that's fine, because it's very white, it's very pristine. Yes. It's almost like if they're in a program, that's fine. But I always thought, why would they have, those people be in a program? It's very clean for everything else being, industrial dank as Zion is.
Yes.
Well, so I mean wait, this is a thing you liked or disliked?
I thought it was cool. It's like they're in an Apple store.
I like the contrast. I like the way they they put a clean line between the real world and the world of the Matrix.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I would agree with that. It is seeing that contrast is cool. Not only in like the way they color grade it, but also the overall visuals of it. Yes, and so just to put a cap on that, if you've seen the first movie, I actually rewatched the first movie just yesterday, and they actually have this construct. Oh, that's awesome, Kitos. This construct program that they talk about, where that's where Morpheus first tells Neo about the Matrix. Like they first start off in this white room. Yeah, that is part of the construct program. So it can be anything they need it to be before they sort of hack into the Matrix signal or the broadcast or whatever you call it. So I feel like that flight control thing, white area, is just, I don't know why they couldn't do all that within the real world. Maybe there's just easier. I don't know. There's a better way of interacting with all the myriad of controls they need to do.
Yeah, it's more efficient.
Yeah. Regardless, Kitos, were any of the visuals something that made your like list, or was it something else?
A Well, yeah, I love the visuals of the Matrix. Yeah, but definitely something that I liked a lot was the when they describe how ghosts, vampires, and werewolves were exile programs. And I just love that connection to our world and how we come up with myths and stories and stuff, and how they put it into the Matrix. I love that because it makes a lot of sense. It's like these things that shouldn't really exist in our world with rules, but they do because they're programs that are from either previous Matrixes or they just refuse to go away
or something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like it's similar to a callback to the first Matrix movie of like explaining deja vu.
Yes, exactly. I was about to say that, Paul. Yes, absolutely. Definitely cool story elements and lore elements that just make it all the more realistic. Isn't quite the word I would go for, but grounded. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Very cool. Paul, what grounded this movie into your likes?
The actors. I really enjoyed the cast, especially Hugo Weaving. Every scene that he was in, I just enjoyed it.
Would you say he hams up his performance? I don't know. He really walks that line.
Yeah, I would say he chews the scenery, but that's often like negative, but he really makes everything of it, and it's just so enjoyable to watch.
Absolutely. So that particular character you really like the acting for.
Hugo Weaving, yeah.
Hugo Weaving, yeah. For me, I really liked sort of going back to what you were saying, David. I liked the seeing Zion from the dock and all the cores, just seeing all the different elements of Zion and finally getting to see that city that they set up that they talked about in the first one. I thought it made a lot of sense. I feel like part of me on after watching that one and the Reloaded and Revolutions, I felt like that seems like a lot for them to have just sort of made with a minimal number of people. Like so many like layers of depth, and especially if it's spoilers for the next one, it's destroyed 6 times. How are this number of people making all of that every single time?
With the help of the machines.
I guess.
Because I doubt they dug it with their bare hands.
But I wonder how much of the city gets destroyed when they destroy all the people of Zion.
That's if you even believe it, but we won't go there.
Okay. All right. Fair. Yes. By the way, everyone listening, we may go into, if you've only seen Reloaded and never Revolution, we're probably going to have to dive into spoilers of Revolution. So be aware of that as well.
It's all one movie.
Okay. But so that was something I'm just sort of like adding to two of your likes. So adding to David's like there, and also adding to Kitos's like that they have this grounding of different ideas. But I also like just the ideas they played with of control and choice and fate and the sort of more philosophical notions that we sort of grapple with in our day to day. Are the things I liked. But let's get into our classic makers, the things we love the most about Matrix Reloaded, the things we wish they could that would make us just reload this into our DVD or Blu-ray or streaming service over and over again. Let me go with Paul this time.
That's a weird setup for this.
Paul! I don't need your backtalk.
My classic maker is actually the dialogue and the writing. It's when especially in the scenes where they say like for example, not everyone believes what you believe, and then the response of Morpheus like, my beliefs don't require them to.
Yes.
The whole conversation's about choice and causality and purpose. And
I know
they go deep into all of those, and I just love it. I think the writing is exquisite on those topics.
Gives you so much to munch on afterwards. And that was actually, let's see. Oh no, that wasn't my classic maker, but that was just something that just was so, I love when there's so much meat in a movie, especially something that's so, especially for genre movies like sci-fi and fantasy, when there's so much extra, whether it's spiritual or philosophical or ethical or other things that that we can relate to in our day to day, that you can explore ideas. It's really fantastic.
You usually don't get this kind of level in from action movies, let alone any movie at all.
Yeah,
usually doesn't go this deep. So bravo to them.
I will say it did take me a few viewings to sort of get what they were saying, especially the Merovingian with what it was like, what are you saying right now? I'm
and there's
so
commentaries
sure.
if you have the commentary tracks where they go even deeper into all of that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, I have to watch it with those on. That's awesome.
Very cool. So yeah, that's your classic maker. Fantastic. David, what was your classic maker for Matrix Reloaded?
I liked, not only connected to this, but there's a couple of things connected to this movie. The kind of extra universe they created with this, not only just in this movie, but things leading up to this movie. There's a video game, Enter the Matrix, where you play as Niobe and Ghost throughout most of the thing, and kind of play along. And instead of it being like, okay, we're just going to make a redo of this movie, they're saying, hey, let's tell an additional part of the story. Like, how did they get the information from the Osiris?
Oh, cool.
You know, and there's also the Animatrix. Actually, they show the Osiris mailing it. Did you get the mailing in the Enter the Matrix game and then go to that meeting where everybody shows in? So all these things are connected.
That's so
instead
cool.
of just repeating themselves or doing like Star Wars Visions did, we'll just tell stories alongside it, or they don't have to be true. They put things that were connected to the story of the Matrix.
Yeah. And I love, like in the Animatrix, how you find out how Kid woke himself up. And I thought that was really cool, and just knowing his backstory some, which you don't need to enjoy this movie or the other movies. You don't need any of that, but it just adds to the overall meal of the Matrix, I guess.
Kid, is that the enthusiastic boy who keeps following Neo?
Exactly. Yes.
So I thought. I'm sorry, I haven't seen the Animatrix in over 10 years, but because but going back to this movie, Reloaded, I thought he was thanking Neo for saving him. If Kid woke himself up, how did Neo quote unquote save him?
Because Neo's the one who contacted him and let him know I forget. I haven't seen the Animatrix in a long time either, but I remember that essentially, spoilers for this one, he actually like almost commits suicide, but he's not. He's actually like by throwing himself out of this school building, he's waking himself up. Nice. I forget exactly how that transpires, but that's what happens. But yeah, that's a cool thing for me. But so your classic maker, David, is that there's all this other lore that sort of gets that is a part of this. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah. Yes. Ultimately.
Awesome. Yeah. Fantastic.
World building.
Exactly.
The world building.
Kitos, what was your classic maker for this movie?
So mine actually goes pretty hand in hand with Paul's. I loved the philosophical discussions that everyone was having in this movie. Especially the counselor, right? When he's talking to Neo in the engine room. Late at night.
Oh yeah,
about how they're interdependent with
he's talking about how they're it's funny because the machines are coming to kill them, right? But they themselves are sitting there living with machines, keeping them alive.
Exactly.
And then at the same time, it's like, are they a prisoner to the machine as well? Because these machines are keeping them alive. How different is it from the Matrix? I love that idea to think on.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So good. My classic maker, though, is something just very visceral and not at all philosophical. That freeway chase scene. Oh my gosh. I was so enraptured with it, and it was just so thrilling. I had forgotten. I all I could remember was the how cool it was when Trinity and the key maker were on the motorcycle. That's the only part I really remembered. I didn't remember all the other parts.
Right.
So it was just so thrilling. I just enjoyed that so much.
I love what Morpheus said right before that part. where Trinity says, you've always told us going on the freeway is suicide. And then Morpheus says, let us hope I was wrong.
Yes.
That was
so good. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, those are our classic makers for the Matrix Reloaded. And I guess it's time to... Yeah, sorry, guys. I need to reload this whole section because there's something else I forgot. Geek Devotions. Geek Devotions is a collaboration of devoted geeks that are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. They produce a weekly geek culture-infused devotional, their podcast Calm Talk, and written articles all designed to encourage and challenge people in the geek community, bridging the gap between their faith and their geekdoms. Find all their content at geekdevotions.com.
That's great, Francisco. Did you say that because Geek Devotions is here in the chat?
No, I didn't say it because of that. But this is a very geek-centric movie, and I'm sure I don't know if they've ever covered The Matrix in their Geek Devotions. For some reason, I feel like they may have. But
well, they were on our review of the first Matrix movie.
I mean, that's why. Yes, of course, that's why.
and at least one of them might be helping us out on the next Matrix movie.
Exactly. And they're also part of the Culture Box Network, which our Retro Rewind podcast is also a part of. So is that enough of a tie-in for you, Paul?
I suppose, but what does that have to do with this movie?
I just told you, it's geeky. This movie's geeky.
Okay. That's what you liked about this movie.
Okay, how about some trivia, Paul? Because I'm not making any headway here with you. All right. So did you all realize that the ship referred to as the Hammer, which is, what was the captain's name? It's not Niobe's ship. Locke.
John Paul, the Boxer's ship?
Yes, the Boxer's ship. Yeah, Locke isn't the main captain of all the military of Zion. Yeah, I forget his name.
Roy Jones Jr.
That's his name?
The actor's name is, if it's the Boxer, it's Roy Jones Jr.
I don't care about it. I want the in-movie name.
I want his hacker name.
Yeah, I want his hacker name. Well, if you can find it, awesome. But I am desperately looking for it quickly and
what is
succeeding.
The Hammer referred to? Is that
I'm going to get there. There. I was just trying to... Soren. Oh. No, not Soren? No.
Roland.
Roland? Okay, we'll go with Roland.
Down the river.
It's one of those. Anyway, his ship's name was the Hammer. But it's actually labeled and actually named Mjolnir, a difficult to pronounce name until Thor, essentially. Yeah. This explains why nobody calls it by its real name. Mjolnir is the name of the famous hammer of Thor, the Nordic god of thunder.
You mean Mew
Mew? What?
Yeah, from Thor, Mew Mew.
Mew Mew. That's the name of his hammer. Mew Mew.
That's what they call it.
I don't
because
remember
they
that.
can't pronounce it. They call it.
Okay. It's been too long since I've seen Thor. Anyway, if you guys, Paul, Kitos, and David, were to captain a Zion ship, what biblical or mythological character would you name the ship after? So Morpheus had the Nebuchadnezzar, which is a Bible name, and one of the kings of Babylon. Niobe had the Logos, which is actually the word or truth in Greek. And then the hammer Mjolnir is related to Thor. So what is your guys's? Paul, let's go with you. What would you name your ship?
Mine would be Jonah, because we could survive 3 days and the Sentinels come right out.
Nice. The Jonah. Okay, I like it. David, how about you?
The Nathan.
The Nathan? Okay.
Yep. Standing right in the face of the bad guys. Or the good.
Very cool.
I thought you liked being stoned. Oh, wait. Was that Nathan?
Steven was stoned.
Steven was stoned. Darn it. Bad joke.
I mean, I'm sure more than just Steven, but... and how about you, Kitos?
Speaking of stone, I would name mine the Medusa.
Or the Medusa. Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like it.
Just don't look at it.
Yeah.
Would you like, essentially, would yours have like leftover arms and stuff from the Sentinels attached to it?
Absolutely.
I would still fear in the Sentinels.
Yeah, exactly. I would any Sentinels we killed, I'd put them on as like,
trophies
like a
or whatnot.
Trophy, or nice. To ward them.
Love it. And let's see, in chat we have the Cellcast says the Godzilla, very nice. And then Neko says I call it Rollin' and Rockin' would be his. All right. Babo says the Cassandra because no one would believe I have a ship. Okay. Is that what Cassandra means? I don't know.
The Cassandra warned about the Trojan horse, and nobody.
Oh,
I think she was mythologically cursed for no one to believe her.
Okay. I like it, Baba. Very nice. Well, so that is your trivia for this time.
That's cool. Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you.
And let's find out what memories you, our radical rewinders, had to say about The Matrix Reloaded.
John Harju says that it was the only one in the series worth watching. Whoa.
Wow. Whoa. Stanley Wright says, Lord Elrond told us the ring must be destroyed. Whoops, wrong movie. When you have a cast like this, it's hard not to make an epic movie. This is one of my favorite of the series. The cinematography took a huge leap forward in this movie.
Nathan James Norman says, I think y'all have been decepted. They only had made one Matrix movie. I wish they'd made a sequel. But in all seriousness, my friend's mom was the stunt woman for Carrie-Anne Moss in the motorcycle chase scene. That's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Becky Smith says, this movie is considered retro? What year is this?
Well, it is currently 2021 when we're recording this, and this came out in 2003, so almost 20 years ago. Oh my goodness. Philip Hurd says, first Matrix film I saw in the theater, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. The world building and action were solid and held my interest.
Steve Hamilton says, the twins, the Keymaster set, and of course, the semi-truck freeway fight was awesome.
Awesome. And apparently that's, yeah. So thank you all for sharing your memories. And Nathan's leads us right into the things we didn't like about the Matrix, the things we wish we had just like ejected from the holster, or the clip we never mind. The joke just fell flat. So let's get.
No
into
need to
things
reload that one. Just keep going.
Like about the Matrix Reloaded, booting up our
worst 3.
Yes, booting up our worst 3, or worst 2 in this case. And I'm going to start this time by saying, and this is a, I guess this isn't a legitimate quibble, some might say, because hey, it's great for the time. Well, I don't care. I want things to stand the test of time. And I feel like the CG for Keanu was pretty obvious when he was doing his Supermans and a lot, especially when he goes up in the moonlight. That seemed like, and you sort of get a close up on his face. It seemed very plasticky. So
what's so weird is that at the time, I didn't notice it while watching in the theaters because this technology was so new at the time. I think since then our eyes have been trained to kind of look for gradual shading and highlighting that makes it look more rubbery. But to go off what you said, like the whole scene of him fighting the tons of Agent Smith, that's my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Yes.
But as it progresses, it gets more and more CG, and it's kind of frustrating. It's still fun to watch, but I understand on the CG. It's another thing is that speaking of the CG, and I'm sorry if I'm stepping on anyone else's.
You're fine.
The whole thing, like the first movie was great with the bullet time. They'd freeze it and turn it. Every time that they froze the action down or even turn it was all like CG models. It wasn't live action.
Like in the first one.
Right. Like. It was frustrating. It's like, okay, you have these cool action scenes. Okay, slow down and turn on look at our pretty CG model and action, and it's like, for me, it was weird mix of it's a step up in technology from where they were, but it was a step down also in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, I still appreciate it. I think that's why one of the reasons I gravitated to the freeway scene so much, because it was so much of it was practical and well done in that way. But I totally see what you're saying. And I didn't sort of realize that the bullet time was pretty much way more computerized. I think it was smoother, but I feel like you did lose some of the realism in that.
Yeah, because there wasn't any.
Let's go with Ketos next. Was the CG something you disliked at all, or did something else was something else worse for you?
Actually, it didn't really bother me very much, the CG. Like, I can understand. At the time, they did the best they can, And it's not like it's, to me, it wasn't that bad. Like, it didn't take me out of the scene. I still enjoyed it, like Paul's saying.
Yeah.
But for me, something I did dislike was that the whole Morpheus, Niobe, Locke love triangle plot.
Yes.
It kind of was like, I just didn't really care for it. And I don't know how needed it really was. It seemed just like this like Hollywood thing put into the movie for
I think you could have had
I
tell me if you would have preferred this, Kitos, if there was some romance between Niobe and Morpheus, but it just never worked out for whatever reason. I feel like that would work better than having Locke be a part of this.
I think Locke added an interesting tension, but more on that later for a future episode.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. David, were there any sort of story beats like a love triangle or CG elements or visuals that you actually didn't care for in Matrix Reloaded?
Trinity's Matrix persona. I don't know that. I guess that this is a dislike for me because I don't like. She goes, very almost like very relaxed, very thing. She plugs into the Matrix, and it's almost like there's like a pull. Like she's all angles. Like even her movements are very robotic. It's like you're unplugged, girl. I mean, like her head movements are almost on almost like you were looking at a computer. I'm like, you're unplugged. You're not a sentinel. You're not. I don't know. It just hers. Just I mean, there was several, but hers especially was like, okay, you're unplugged. Don't act like you're a robot.
That's
people
interesting.
Have a hard time
Go ahead, Paul.
Jumping with Mario and not moving in the controller even after years. It's just even after being unplugged, it's still hard to let go of that. Maybe.
And so that this is not related to that at all. But I will say for me, and it might be more of a personality type, but I actually prefer to move in a very like deliberate, like sharp way, and I guess less organic in a way. Like if I could move that way, I almost would want to move that way because I feel like it's very like with purpose. And when she's in the Matrix, she's very like has exact purpose she's moving toward, and she's gonna get there. Like nothing's gonna stop her. I'll tear that building down. That building's gonna in 5 minutes. I'll tear that whole gosh darn building down. I mean, it's just very on point. Nothing's gonna stop her, and actually, really, that appealed to me. I didn't notice it in her movements. Maybe with you saying that, David, I would pick up on it a lot more. But that's my take. But that's totally fair that that's something you didn't like. I could see that because she's not in the Matrix anymore. It makes sense that she would have more of a general motion. So understandable. I'm just curious, Kitos or Paul, did you pick up on that at all, or did that bother you with Trinity?
Never even thought of it.
Honestly, I never had the words to say it, but now that now that it's been said, I totally get it. I totally do see that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's her leather suit that's very restrictive.
True.
Just real quick, guys. I'm confused. When it's shiny like that, is that more of a plastic thing, or is that actual leather still? It's just somehow really shiny.
I don't know. I haven't worn it in years.
I think it's just polished leather, like leather that's been polished. Because I used to have a leather jacket, and I mean, it wasn't that shiny, but I have seen leather that is that shiny.
But hers is almost like Catwoman Tim Burton shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Paul. That's what I was talking about. But all right, so Dave, that was your tragic maker. Let's go. Dang, I'm totally blanking. Dave, was that your tragic maker? Or did I totally
Or are we still on dislikes?
That was my dislike.
Okay,
We're still on dislikes.
Okay. I thought something was askew. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. No, it's a lot to juggle. Matrix.
They changed something in the Matrix.
Okay, guys. Yes, I get it. All right. So Edna mode. Well, at least it's not. Yes, exactly.
Yay! Hi,
There's your
Edna.
one.
If anyone sees a black cat, let us know.
Oh my gosh.
Edna mode's here.
Oh my. Okay, so thank you, David. Awesome. Yeah. So I appreciate your perspective on that, but I would appreciate more your guy. Wait a second. No, we haven't done any dislikes. Oh, okay. That's okay. That was just the first dislike, right?
Oh, our dislike and then our tragic maker.
Yeah, there's only one dislike.
I haven't said my dislike yet.
Yeah, and Kitos, you haven't said your dislike either, right?
I did. It was the love triangle.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I haven't done mine yet, and Paul hasn't done his yet, right? Like
Correct.
Me and Paul haven't done any of ours, and then David and Kitos have both done one.
You said something about the CG, I thought.
Oh, I did. Yes. Okay, yes. Okay, so just Paul. And then Tragic Makers. Okay. All right, and then number 2, guys. All right.
Or is it 3? But who's counting?
I think you are, Paul. That's who. All right. La 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 la. Okay, David. Yeah. So I totally get where you're coming from there, even though I don't agree. But thank you for sharing that perspective.
Oh, sorry, David. He doesn't agree.
Paul, what wasn't agreeable for you about this film?
Oh my gosh. I sometimes I get a little bit heady, but it doesn't make sense to me. It's like they didn't even watch the first movie, these people in this movie, because the whole thing about fighting the agents is that they move so fast they can dodge bullets. And even on the freeway chase, Trinity is shooting him and he's dodging bullets. Yet, okay, Neo fights them, in the first movie, but now everybody's fighting these agents where before they were too fast. Now all of a sudden they're not moving fast for some reason. It doesn't make sense. The first movie shows that you cannot move fast enough to fight and defeat an agent. You have to go beyond it. You have to go through their code. So why are they even fighting these agents? Like, why?
Because they believe.
No, physically fighting. Like the whole thing in the Frenchman's house where he's fighting all those people.
Those aren't agents, though.
No, but they are programs. And so, like, okay, fine. Before then, in the meeting when the agents come and he goes, upgrades. Well, what does that mean? That, now I have to physically fight you? Fine. You can't defeat them. They move too fast, or you have to move just as fast, and it would all be blurry, kind of a thing. But it's not. It doesn't make sense why they're fighting these agents. The only way to fight them is through to mess with their code. At least that's what the first movie showed us.
So honestly, the only other agent fight I recall is Morpheus and the agent on the truck. But that's just because he has to do something to keep him from taking the Keymaster. So there's agents at the beginning, there's agents throughout where they try to fight him. And it doesn't make sense to me. I am not remembering other moments of.
Did you fall asleep?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I just do not remember any other moments other than Morpheus and Neo trying to take on the agents.
These agents are computer programs, right?
Yes.
So I assume other programs can fight like them.
I guess Trinity at the end, but she was running from him. So, okay. Continue, Paul. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So, like, it doesn't make sense to me why, especially Neo. Yes, it makes for a good action movie, but logically it doesn't make sense. It's kind of like once you learn to use the Force, you don't have to do a lightsaber battle like Empire showed. You could like throw things at people using the Force or push them away. There's no need to physically fight.
Are you trying to say Neo should have just zoomed into every agent and just destroyed their code too?
Yes.
Okay. I can buy that, I suppose.
Or through walls or whatever. He can make walls bend at the end, and all of a sudden he's like, running into stuff. And it's like, why? You can fly right through it. Like, it's all code.
I don't. Maybe it takes a lot of a mental toll on.
Well, maybe it needs to make sense. Classic, or not classic maker, but that's a dislike.
All right, that's fair, Paul. And I'd say that's actually a pretty substantial dislike. There were certainly some things like that were sort of plot holey and didn't make sense going from this one to the other one. they don't come to mind at the moment, so I'll bring them up if they do come to mind. But regardless,
I definitely got one. That's my Tragic Maker.
Okay, well, we're about to get into Tragic Makers, Keto, so go for it.
Yeah, so speaking of plot holes and Neo having these abilities and he doesn't use them, why didn't he save the Keymaker?
Yeah.
He couldn't get to him.
He was in the room with him.
Yeah.
He could have literally saved him just like he saved Trinity.
Oh, like by flying him out?
No, by just healing his gunshot wounds.
Yeah. Oh, you mean it toward the end? I thought you meant in the room with all the keys where they found him.
No.
Okay.
At the end, when the Keymaker gets shot, right?
Oh.
He can literally rewrite the code in his body.
Right.
Okay.
And then kiss him and wake him up.
Well, maybe not that part, but
maybe he wasn't as motivated. He's just a program.
Oh, you've done your purpose? Okay. Well, there is that element too, though. Kitos, and based on what Paul said, maybe he was able to do that for other humans, but not actual programs. Maybe there's something different about their code that he can't necessarily fix. He might be able to destroy it in the case of Agent Smith, but he can't fix it.
No, the whole thing with Morpheus at the training ground says some rules can be bent, and
others broken.
Some, completely broken. Yeah.
So I don't know. To me, it seems like a plot hole.
Okay.
It was like they had to get rid of the Keymaker, even though they have this basically, all powerful being Neo who can actually save him, and he doesn't.
Yeah. I get how that.
Rewrite the code, Neo. Gosh.
Yeah. Geez. Gosh.
Yeah.
If only you were like maybe some sort of like code hacker or something that they established. Oh wait. They did.
Yeah.
Maybe they need Bill and Ted to come on the excellent adventure to come help him.
Whoa.
David, what's something that you hated most about Matrix Reloaded?
I think they pulled Smith out too early in the Matrix. Getting into a little bit of spoiler. He's going to be the big bad super virus that literally will cause a whole lot of trouble for the Matrix. What's he doing that early already? You could maybe a couple of scenes where he's corrupting agents, corrupting the red pills.
Yeah.
But that one scene where he in the courtyard after the Oracle, I'm like, hello, you're announcing yourself to the super program. Hey, there's a thing that can replicate and has taken over a whole bunch of your programs. You might want to deal with it if you can. While it's small. So I think they pulled Smith out. They could have made Smith kind of a threat in this one, but they kind of made like even sticking him in that hallway in the programmer space, and doing all the fighting there. It's like you're not picking up that there's a problem.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's almost like it's not. Well, I think we get this impression, and maybe this is a counter to that impression that. I think we sort of have this idea that the Matrix, inside of the Matrix, the computer is all powerful, and this is sort of a nod to it's not. It's not aware of every single facet of every single thing that's happening, especially for things like Matrix, Neo, Morpheus, all the people, all the resistance, as well as Agent Smith. Everyone who's unplugged, maybe it isn't aware of what's going on. And maybe there is something with this virus that it doesn't allow for. Like the first thing it does when it's replicating another instance of a person, it jams the signal to let the Matrix know that there's something going on. I don't know. I'm sort of like...
Well, it would still trigger a thing of, hey, I'm starting to lose more people than normal.
Yeah.
What's going on?
A lot of
What
people.
was the last thing they encountered? Wait, that's Smith. That's Smith. Hold on. Logically, in all the mathematics that the architect does, he should like, wait, this is a problem that we need to eliminate before it becomes exponentially greater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I think...
go ahead.
I think the architect kind of actually says why he lets it become a problem, quote unquote, a problem. It's because one, they're willing to like let the code basically run rampant, and they're willing to not even have humans exist at all if necessary.
There are some forms of survival or existence.
So we are prepared for him.
Yeah, exactly.
What does he know? He's just a stupid program.
and then he also says the reason Smith becomes so. Oh, we lost someone. I think.
Fine.
Oh, when that happens, Edmo, you don't have to speak to it. Just keep going.
Okay.
Unless it's the person that is speaking that knows.
I kind of am. Yeah.
Yeah. In case, what is that? 3 or 4?
Edna mode.
That's 2. Bobo declared that the first one was just a continuation, so it didn't count.
Oh, you got lucky, sir.
I did get lucky.
Well, I can keep going since I know we're on kind of a time crunch.
Well, it's your call. Maybe we lost David in the Matrix, and he's not coming back.
Hopefully not.
He's not. He's not in the train station, is he?
No, I know. I'm looking. No, he's not in the train station.
Oh, agents got him. Darn.
And Born Generals, probably a red pill for me. I prefer to know the truth, even if it's hard. He just asked if you had to choose red or blue.
Francisco, doesn't that steak look so good?
It looks way better than that boogers or whatever that they have on Nebuchadnezzar. But I don't think. Obviously, you see. I mean, there's all these presents for Neo. They make other food at Zion. It's not just slop for everyone. So
ignorance is bliss.
Oh my gosh, Cypher.
God.
Agents got David. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Let's do this. Did you finish your thought, Kitos, or were you still going?
No, he was just starting. I wanted to hear the counter argument.
Okay.
To
why?
Oh
wait,
where was I? Let's see.
So David was saying how it's not. Wait,
it's
what was
too
he saying?
early to introduce the character, which I kind of agree. Like him getting out. But I don't mind it being too early. You know, it kind of layers it in and connects the third movie for me.
Yeah. Sorry.
But I could be focusing on one aspect. Or are you focusing on a different one?
Yeah. Okay. So the thought I was having, right? The architect and how they were prepared, right? They were prepared for it.
Oh yeah.
That was the other thing the architect was saying was that Smith is this powerful problem because Neo is a powerful problem, and it's their equation of the Matrix trying to balance out this all-powerful Neo with an all-powerful program.
Oh, I didn't realize that the Agent Smith was something that they had wanted. I thought that the program had wanted.
Well, they allowed.
I don't think. Yeah, it's,
they allowed.
I don't think it's wanted. It's more allowed to balance the equation.
Got it. Do you guys wonder? I was wondering this. This might get into more of territory for Revolution, but do you think that the Agent Smith virus was something that happened in the previous iterations of the Matrix? I tend to think not, but
yeah,
what do you guys think?
I don't know. I would think not as well.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
This is me personally talking about other iterations since the architect talked about it in this movie. When I first saw it, I didn't believe him. I was like, you could tell me there was 100 iterations. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
That's right. I remember us having that discussion. Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Actually, I want to change my opinion. Now that I think about it, right? Yeah. I think Smith could have been a thing before, right? Because every time Neo got to the architect before, he didn't choose like love and to save Trinity and all that. He chose to integrate himself into the source and restart Zion.
Yeah.
So maybe that Agent Smith could have been a problem, but that choice always corrected it. So
it doesn't matter because they would reboot the Matrix anyways.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'm just curious. Well, we'll talk about we'll talk about more. I'm curious what you think was the thing that made this time different, that Neo picked something different, but that may be something
the other door.
I know. Why did he choose the other door though?
Because
the problem is choice. Is that why?
Hot for Trinity.
Oh my gosh! I'm sure that happened in other versions.
No,
anyway.
They all chose the other door because they chose the more logical door.
Yeah,
he chose the illogical.
The architect even says his previous iterations did not choose that.
Right.
Yeah, but is that because they didn't have a someone they loved? And
they probably did, but they were willing to sacrifice.
Yeah, he literally says they have the previous iterations had a general love for humanity, while Neo has a specific love for a specific human.
So that seems to tell me that the previous versions didn't have someone specific they loved.
Yes, exactly.
No, they did. That's why there was another door to choose from.
But they would have had another door. Yeah, that's a good point. Or maybe we're getting into the philosophical underpinnings of this. We need to get back to the things we hated about this movie.
It is one of the things I hated about the movie. I'll tell you why.
All right. Well,
all right, but welcome back, David.
Yes, welcome back. David.
Welcome back.
Paul, go ahead and go into some.
I wanted to hear Keithos' response, or did you already say it?
I thought that's what we were talking about.
Sorry, David. It was glorious. This big response to yours. It was amazing. Hopefully you'll hear it on the re-listen. But he backed you up and didn't back you up at the same time.
And countered you as well, yes. It was quite the feat of strategery.
Another
Paul,
Edna.
Okay, what?
We
Paul?
can't hear you, David. No, can't hear you.
No.
It's like super faint.
Oh, I can't even hear that.
Keithos, did you actually give your tragic maker there or no?
I did. Neo not saving the key maker.
That's right. And then
David, bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye, David.
I'm going to go ahead.
Sorry, I can't do that, Dave.
Paul, give me, while we're in Edna mode, give me a quick preview of your tragic maker. I'm just curious if it's something David should hear to weigh in on, or if it's very particular to you.
How do I give you a preview without giving it away?
I don't know. That's a great point. I don't know how you give it away. I'll go first and end with you, Paul. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I heard a breath.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Now we can hear you.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry.
So no worries. We're gonna start again. I'm gonna go with my tragic maker and then Paul's, and then we'll get to final ratings. All right.
Sounds like revolutions to me coming our way.
Okay. Thank you, David, for yours. Yeah, I get that. That aspect of it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that wasn't something that really stood out to me. The thing that stood out to me the most as my tragic maker for Matrix Reloaded was I just do not understand the point of the rave scene and showing so much of Neo and Trinity, their lovemaking.
I knew Francisco was going to choose this.
Oh, really?
Now, I will say that last shot where they pull away in stages from Neo and Trinity, I feel like that is such a beautiful shot, even in their nakedness. I think that just looks so beautiful and cinematic. I definitely keep that. I don't think you need the whole partying on. And where's all that moisture coming from? Is that just them sweating everywhere? Yeah. That's so gross.
Yeah, man. It's a cave full of people. Where's the moisture gonna go?
I don't
evaporate into the air.
It just seems so gross. But that's me. In my prudish ways, I suppose. No, but I guess I sort of assume Trinity and Neo are married in some way, some Zion marriage ritual, but I have no idea for sure. Regardless, I didn't need to see as much of it as they showed. I wouldn't mind them hinting at some and ending with the shot that they ended on, but that was my tragic maker. It didn't seem necessary to the plot of the film at all.
I disagree, but
fine. Oh, okay. Tell me why you disagree. I'm curious.
Because there should be more
more so with the rave part, right? I mean, it shows humanity. I mean, it shows one aspect. Sorry, not all of humanity, but it does show an aspect that the machines lack. It's this idea of celebration of the fact that human beings can actually, I don't know, engage in
ritual.
Frivolity.
Yeah. Machines don't do this kind of thing.
That's a good point. Yeah. Oh, so, but if that were the case, they need to contrast that, like, just visually with the storytelling to something that's very machine centric. And I don't remember them going right away to something that's very mechanized.
Well, this whole movie,
I can agree with you on that.
They wanted to show the opposite side, like, you know, like.
I shagged her rotten, baby.
Yeah. Oh my
gosh. But yeah, no, I can agree with you there, Francisco. They could have added some kind of juxtaposition or something to really hit that point home.
Contrast.
Yeah. I think that's, I mean, what you say, Paul, what you say, Kitos, is that makes a lot of sense. I had not thought of it in that dimension, and that's actually a very keen insight. Yeah, I just wish the visual storytelling had punctuated that more, because I think that would have been great.
To make it more less. Sorry, I'm trying to think. The word escapes me. Sorry.
Less vague.
No, it's excessive is not the right. It seems like. What do they call it when there's like they say like there's too much sex in a movie?
I know what you're talking about.
Exhibitionist?
No. I totally know what you're talking about. Not grotesque. It's something like that, though.
But it's like extra, and it's like they don't have a yin and yang for like it's like non-purposeful without.
Yeah. Oh, geez, that word is totally escaping me. Thanks a lot, Paul.
I'm sure people listening can.
No, it's not provocative.
It's gratuitous.
Gratuitous, yes, that's it.
Yes. That's my tragic maker for this episode.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't think of that word.
My goodness. Well, Paul, what's your tragic maker for the movie? How about what's up with you?
For The Matrix Reloaded, tragic maker is that this movie does not make sense. I mean, here Neo is trying to destroy the machines, destroy the Matrix so the humans go free. He meets the architect. You know what? Instead of destroying him, like jumping into his code and destroying him, he's just going to I'm going to actually sit here and listen to you. And actually, you present two options, which is is a false dichotomy, but as a machine, that makes sense. There's on and off. Let's understand that they think that way. So it's either one or two doors. That's fine. But Neo to actually take one of those two doors doesn't make sense to me. But what really doesn't make sense is that all of a sudden something's different now. I can feel the machines, and he's able to stop them with his mind. And like in the real world, that does not make sense. It does, and they have no way of explaining like, oh, my mind is like in the Matrix and in the real world at the same time, and I can blow these machines up with my hand just by like pointing it at them. It doesn't make sense.
Well, so here's how I took it, Paul. This is sort of how I think of it. I think you have to make mental leaps to get here, but this is sort of how I think of it.
Then it doesn't make sense. All right, go ahead.
That there's something about their equation or whatever it is that the architect talks about that allows the one to sort of come up through the matrix. That like there is a one, however many times it happens.
I'm sorry, I'm not listening to you. Like I'm not listening to the architect. It's all words. It doesn't matter. Just do action, boom, go. Are you saying that because he chose the door through Trinity, it enabled his mind to be in both worlds and all of a sudden attack machines with his hands?
No, I think because there's something about the machine setup that we have to have this chosen one for whatever reason so that the equation balances. So that they imbue the chosen one, whoever it is, Neo in this case,
that's only with some the world of the Matrix.
Listen,
not in the real world.
Listen,
I'm listening.
Let me talk.
Okay.
They imbue his like residual self-image or whatever it is, that thing that's in the Matrix, with some code that allows him to have all these abilities, okay? And that, because they put the code in, that code, because it's somehow connected with his mental faculties, is still, whenever he sort of surges out from his mind, it is connected in some way back to the source, back out to the Sentinels, and that's how he's able to stop them. It's point just the order. Force, Paul. It's the Force.
It is the Force.
Yeah.
That. Go ahead.
One thing that made, like when the architect talks about when the one goes in there, there's something about they're messing with his code. They're messing with his code, or they're going to look at his code. what if while he was in there talking to the architect, they're already doing that, but he also, to do that, they opened himself up to the actual code of the Matrix, because they were going to add his particular peculiarities to the code of the Matrix.
Baloney. He's already in the Matrix. They can look at his code anytime, before he was unplugged and after.
I think it's opening himself up, right? I mean, that was just one idea. That's how I kind of like, okay, maybe that since he opened himself up to the Matrix's code, being with the architect in that room, it may be like, oh, it's kind of, they forgot to close the gate.
Oh, they forgot to turn the VPN off. Okay.
also, Paul, like, that's the other thing, right? That's kind of where the Oracle comes in and what she says. It's all about, I almost equate the choices people make to them writing code for themselves. So even if they look at the history of Neo's code, right, it won't show the one's code, because the one's code doesn't exist yet, because Neo hasn't made those choices.
That's a good point. Yes. Paul looks lost.
Paul's looking at me like I'm the architect.
It doesn't make sense. Okay, here's
all right.
Here. I have a simple
if
thing.
If he has
Paul.
control in the Matrix, that's fine. That is, let's call the Matrix a holodeck.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But once you are outside the holodeck, and this is where Star Trek gets it wrong too. They like, oh no. Somehow you still affect machines that are not even attached to the holodeck. You can blow them up with your mind. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
They are connected to the holodeck because the sword. Yes, it's a hive mind.
Attacking. One is for
all of the Matrix is interlinked via this expansive network.
Yeah, it's a World Wide Web. Just because you visited Yahoo doesn't mean that you can blow up the White House.
If I take down a server over yonder, it's going to affect all the other servers, and you're not going to be able to access the information on that server.
So let's say Facebook goes down. That doesn't mean I can hop on the freeway and stop cars with my bare hands.
Okay, there's only one explanation.
That's because you're not the one, Paul.
Oh.
There's only one explanation. He is the one because he's actually a mutant X-Men. Okay, and he has Wi-Fi powers.
That's it. We got it. Nailed it.
It doesn't make sense with the rest of the movies.
All right, well, fine, Paul. You know what? Let's see if our final ratings make sense, because it's time to get to our final ratings right now, because we've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer. Alice, do you have a firing solution for us?
No. Okay.
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo at the ready. On your mark.
Do we rate The Matrix Reloaded a classic? We'd recommend anyone go see this, whether or not you've seen this before. I would stipulate that you need to see The Matrix, the first one,
I don't know, do you? They didn't follow some of the rules. Why?
Okay, I'm going to stipulate. I'm the captain. That's the rule I'm making.
All right.
So take these reins in the context of that. So do we rate a classic? We recommend anyone go see this movie, whether or not they've seen it before. A nostalgic, it's worth rewatching if you saw it as, I guess, a kid watching rated R movies or just a young adult. You've seen it in the past and you remember enjoying it. Yeah, watch it again. But if you've never seen it before, pass. Or would we rate it a tragic? It's not worth anyone's time. If you've never seen it before, keep it that way. And if you have seen it before, don't rewatch it, because any fond memories you have of it will be sullied. Let's begin with Ketos this time. What is your final rating for The Matrix Reloaded? And your prediction was classic. Did it stay true to that?
It did. I definitely think this film is a classic. I think, especially in the context of watching it with all the films, it's a classic. If you've only seen it, this film, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be a classic, but you'd be like, what is going on here?
What? Who is this?
But definitely, if you've seen the first one, going into this one, it will instantly be a classic too.
Very cool. David, you predicted nostalgic. Did it stay nostalgic or change for you?
I'm going to upgrade it to a classic.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It is part of, as I was thinking kind of, listening, it is part of, it's something you've got to experience once, and you know, it is worth watching again and again. So I am going to upgrade it to a classic.
Awesome. Paul, I given what your Tragic Maker was, I'm curious if that swayed you. So you had predicted classic. What was your final rating for it?
Yeah, as much as the great visuals and dialogue and the fact that this movie makes no sense when you stop to think about it, it actually, I had to knock it down to nostalgic.
Wow.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
All right. That's fair.
That's how much it bugs me sometimes. But not enough to make it a tragic.
All right. I know I said there's a lot I liked, but I think it's actually tragic.
What?
That anyone would not call this a classic.
Oh,
Come on, Paul. What are you talking about?
You got me.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? No. I think I'm going to change my rating to tragic because just to tick you off. No, I'm going to keep it nostalgic.
Just out of spite.
That's right.
The reflux the reflux capacitors run on dollars and spite. Nice.
Got to keep it going.
According to the Retro Rewind podcast, we rate The Matrix Reload disputed classic film. We'd recommend anyone go out and see this, whether or not you've seen it before. But now it's time to get back to our own time out of the Matrix. Good old 20XX.
20XX?
Comsat online. Receiving incoming transmission.
Feels good to be back, except now I don't have my steak. I just have this slop. Oh, well.
Womp, womp.
But we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 2003 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflux capacitors, namely Jared Holzhauer, Deborah Powers, Brian Keating, Patrick Hicks, LJ Lowry, Chris Cowan, Chris Owens, Geek Devotions, The Untold Podcast, James Kennison, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Cronenbitter, Pastor Deucin, Kennethan, Redeemed Otaku, Ryan Legline.
Ran out of breath, hopefully, and not patience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Redeemed Otaku, That's Our Babo, Josh Adams, D. Tungsten, Andy Lewis, Jeff, The Dapper Man Reviews, Tony from the Retro Days, Mr. Lost, and Daryl Hafner, in addition to 10 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming, and if you help keep us flying for as little as $1 a month, and you can get bonus content for your generosity. Head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to help us grow via Patreon, Subscribestar, or PayPal.
Sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
And while we're thanking our supporters, we also want to give a big virtual hug to our guests for supporting us with their thoughts about Matrix Reloaded. So we're going to start alphabetically and go with David. Where can people find you online, or is there anything cool you got going on people should know about?
I do a devotional podcast most Sundays called The Enthusiast Devotional Podcast. It sometimes gets accidentally referred to when Francisco says enthusiast. But,
no, I have trouble saying enthusiast. I want to say enthusiast all the time, but all right.
Yeah.
Enthusiast?
Yeah.
Okay.
ENTHUTHEIST.
Okay.
We are just now finishing up our series going through What If. For Christmas, we're going to be looking at lessons from a mean one, 3 different Grinches, 3 different conversations, and then something special coming up in January. I'm not quite ready to announce that, but look forward to talking about those.
Very fun.
Intriguing. Awesome. All right. And Keito, so glad you're able to join us. Where can people find you online, or is there anything cool you got going on?
Let's see. People can find me online at on my Twitter. It's at Cool Deluxe, QOOLDELUXX. And then also, I do have a tech support website that I run. So if you ever need personalized tech support, you can go to TEQSUPPORT.online. So that's tech support with a Q. .online, and you can get tech support for whatever issues you may be having on your computer. I can help you with.
Fantastic. Thank you again so much, David. Thank you so much, Kitos, for being on the show. It's awesome having you both back.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Great
to be here. Yay. So glad. And a hearty thanks to those of you. Yes, you listening right now, whether it's your first time or, of course, anyone who's listening that's part of the Rad Rewinder community. You all who watch us live every week, whether we're recording this podcast or playing retro games, you're all an amazing group of people helping to sustain the pod. But if you are looking for ways to get involved in growing this Retro Rewind endeavor, reach out to us on social media where we are at Retro Rewind Pod, pretty much everywhere. Buy some of our merch. You could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser or your podcatcher of choice. You could become a monthly patron, or you could simply just share your favorite episode of the podcast with a friend so that more people can enjoy the content of the Retro Rewind podcast, be it a dog or a human.
Share it with your dog.
Obey my dog.
Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without.
You have a choice to do that or not. And you have been listening to RetroRewindPodcast.com/238, our review of The Matrix Reloaded with me as your XO, PaulJPowers.com. You can find me online and all my socials at PaulJPowers.com.
All right. Thank you for being an amazing friend. So glad you're not just a Matrix illusion, Paul, but you're the real deal. And It's been another fun voyage with you. I have been and continue to be the captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz. Find me on Twitter at FXRetro_, especially if you need pixel artwork commissioned.
We're all here to do what we're all here to do.
And we are a part of the Culture Box Media Network. You can find all the shows unpacking. Sorry, you can find. Take two. And we are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Find all the shows unpacking truth. Does that find all the shows unpacking truth? I don't know why I'm having a hard time with that. It just sounds weird to me. All right, take three.
If you want to change it, feel free to.
All right. We are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Francisco says, I can change this, so I'm changing it. Find it at culturebox.media because, it's cool. They have shows there that unpack truth through story, comedy, geekery. So is that cool?
That's cool, Paul. Thank you, XO. And thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful now than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we got to catch you all for The Matrix Revolutions, our next episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to nav point Omega and return to base.
Wow, we're handling 3 Matrix movies? I wonder if it's similar to handling 3 different women at once.
Let's ask young Indiana Jones!
Then it is something that man was not meant to disturb. Trust me.
Are you making this up as you go along?
Yeah? You don't believe me. You will, Dr. Jones.
Mission accomplished.
Full throttle? No break. Those people are trying to kill us.
I know, Dad!
It's a new experience for me. Happens to me all the time.
Welcome to Chapter 21 of our reviews of Young Indiana Jones, where we go through the whole adventures of Young Indiana Jones. Is that what it's called, Paul?
Yes. Very good.
Finally got it.
Yeah, it took 21 chapters, but we got there.
Don't worry, I'll blow up the last one here.
Yeah, we only have one more to go. Let's see if you can hold on.
Well, so we are in between our reviews, our Christmas reviews of the three Indiana Jones movies. We have been covering the Young Indiana Jones series. And like I said, we're up to chapter 21. And Paul, will you give us the technical specs of this episode?
Yes. This is, like you said, chapter 21. It's titled Young Indiana Jones and the Scandal of 1920. Mm-hmm. It originally aired on April 3rd, 1993, and it is one full episode, unlike most of the other chapters that are comprised of 2 episodes spliced together. So do you want to give us try to give us a one-sentence plot synopsis of this?
Yes. I mean, we sort of hinted at there in the lead-in. But Indiana Jones essentially meets 3 women and tries to date them all and gets exhausted and gets a cake in his face at the end.
Ba-dum-bum.
That's cake. Indiana Jones.
That's womanizing.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So let's first start with something we liked about this episode. Let's start with David. What's something you enjoyed about this episode of Young Indiana Jones? And you've seen one of these before, correct?
This is my third.
Third. Oh my gosh.
Hey, mine too.
Oh, really? Okay, perfect. The Torture Club. Okay, so what did you like about this one?
Speaking of Culture Club, I would say it's going to be the music.
Okay.
Kind of bringing in some of the, like, Gershwin, Irving Berlin, even the guy with the top hat. I can't think. I looked him up. He is somebody, and that's When My Baby Smiles at Me. Those are actually real people in the 1920s, and kind of bringing in that, that whole spirit of the music including the scandals. The scandals were a kind of a contrast to the Follies. The Follies.
Interesting.
And it's all that music. That's my like.
Okay. Very cool. Kitos, what's something you liked? I'm sorry there are no telegrams that had to go through a bunch of paperwork channels to get something done, but
but there was a bunch of women to juggle, so that's
honestly the only thing I really liked was just the setting, right? I love the whole 1920 aesthetic and everything, and everyone's like fashion and clothes and all that. I enjoyed the atmosphere of the episode, but
how it looked in terms of the period and stuff.
That's funny because of all the episodes that we've seen, I thought this one was most like the other one that we saw with him trying to go through all the paperwork rigmarole.
Yeah, I could see
I
that.
thought if any other episode that you would like, Keithos, because I know you like that episode, it would be this one because it reminded me very much of it. But something I liked was because I've seen other episodes and chapters, I enjoyed seeing some of the actors come back, like the musicians from the previous chapter. A couple of them were there, the clarinet and the singer, and even Jay Underwood came back. He was a little bit...
Yeah, why was Hemingway back in? I didn't get why he was there.
He's in New York around that time just to have him back, and he was kind of a jerk, and it was... I loved seeing Mark Holton, who played the chubby... He's from... in Teen Wolf, he played Chubby, and in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, he played...
Was he
Francis.
One of the critics?
He's one of the critics that Hemingway called Fatso, to be quiet.
I thought I recognized him. Okay.
So it was fun to see those other actors in that.
Gotcha. Okay. For me, it's tough.
Likes Francisco.
Oh no, the actress. He's the one that Indy stays with. Like he comes to New York.
Anne Heche.
Anne Heche. That was her character name or the actress?
That's
the actress
name.
I thought she was the best. I thought. Oh,
now we're playing favorites. Okay.
Yeah, I am going to play favorites. Obviously he should have been with her of all the people. I mean, because
once if you're able to stay with the rich person, you're set for life.
No, but she was so boring, and then the singing gal was nice and sweet. I hate that he left her because he forgot the time originally. But I mean,
apparently he has no clue about time at all because he's 30 minutes late for everything.
Right? Oh my gosh!
If not hours late.
Okay, well, we're not getting into our dislikes yet. I mean, I guess we can actually.
Are we going through of the three? Who would you rather see him pick?
We could do that once Enthusiast gets back. I was hoping we'd vamp enough before he comes back.
I was trying to kill time to say like, okay, maybe I can go, and then Keithos, and maybe
David, hopefully you can come back if you're listening to this. But we're going to continue on. But yeah, let's go ahead and go through that. So, Paul, if you have those names up, let us know what
there's Kate and Gloria and Peggy. So if you remember which one was which,
Peggy was the singer. I remember that because she said she's Margaret. Her friends called her Peggy.
Yes.
And then I think Gloria was the rich one, the blonde rich one.
And then Kate was the lady that he stayed with.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, Kate is my pick.
Yes.
How about for you, Kitos?
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think if any of them, I would pick Kate. She's the most, I guess, I don't know. She has the most synergy with Indiana Jones, who Indiana Jones is, you know,
as far as culture and
like life and everything. Well, the other ones, not so much. Like they're just pretty faces to him. If anything, like
And I would have to agree. If you're going to spend like hours, and I mean like 12 hours plus just talking and connecting on different levels, then there's a lot more there than just
the physical or
I was about to say up on the surface level stuff.
Yes, exactly. So was Kate your pick also then, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll assume David would pick Kate also.
Yeah.
But we have. So David said to just go on. We will message for. He's stuck in the Matrix, so that's what's happening. He's looking for an operator. No one can. He's a hard line he can't find. He would have picked Peggy though.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So interesting. I'm curious why. And then we'll go ahead and go into dislikes now. And David's was, why did he give Peggy the watch? He knew Gloria was in the theater. Why give something that Gloria would see? Yeah, I think it's just a way for them all to find out about each other. Yeah, he's not making good decisions. He's not sleeping very well, obviously, because he's juggling all these women. And his own fault.
He never sleeps.
Right? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, here he is working full time, and then he's dating 3 women at the same time. How does he keep going? It's just incredible. He's under 21. So he still has that youthful energy.
That's a good point. I guess that does help, but it definitely does take a toll. And yeah, I don't like the womanizing Indiana Jones. I can't think of in any movie is he like with multiple women. I think it's always just one.
No, but this is how he learns. This is all stuff that leads up to it, so that he has a way to with.
This
women.
is episode 21. He hasn't learned a thing. There's been no gradual progression in this area of his life. I saw he's certainly coming to maturation through going through the war and being
I'm
less.
Trying to find an argument against you, and I can't. You're absolutely right.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, so that's pretty much my dislike. I just really despise that he's like. I mean, fine if he's going to just not. So Peggy's the first girl he meets on the train, and he has some connection with. That's fair. If he honestly, like we've spoken to, he's talking with Kate throughout the night, just like going the whole night, and he so much so that he forgets, and then he does. I think it's honorable. He does try to go and find Peggy. That's great, but he doesn't. Fine, he should just leave it lie. Not like, and if Peggy finds him, I forget exactly how that goes. Just say, you know what, I met someone else, and just be honest and upfront. I mean, it's just ridiculous how he's trying to juggle everyone. I hate it so much.
That's what I've found the most. That was my dislike. Is he has that moment with the billiards, and he's like, okay, I can't choose this one, or I can choose this one, but I can't choose this one. I'm like, he finally has a moment where he can say, okay, here's the pros and cons. You know, okay, she's not Rachel. Fine. You get that joke? That's cool. But here's his chance. Like, look, dude, you have to pick one or you get nothing. But of course, he winds up with nothing, you know, and that's frustrating because here you have a chance. Here you have a moment to pick one and go for that and say, I'm sorry to everybody else. But he doesn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So that was definitely a frustration. Kitos, what didn't you like?
Yeah, I mean, I agree right with you guys on that point. It's literally like it's okay. I get there's like a learning curve, you know, especially as Indiana Jones becomes young to, you know, what we get in the movies, right?
Right.
But again, there's right and wrong, and Indiana Jones knows what's right and wrong. Okay, and juggling 3 women is very wrong.
Yes, exactly.
Come on, like he's
only wrong
not
if you get
sleeping.
Wow, Paul.
Oh, man.
Wow.
No, that's not my philosophy. That's what some people say. But
yeah. No, I get you. But yeah, no. So I don't know. It's just this episode is so weird on Indiana Jones' character because
it is. It's not adventures. Again,
yeah, it's not an adventure. At all. It's not. Yeah. So like the paperwork thing, it's just funny to me. But this one, it's like it's showing a piece of his character that isn't really there in the movies or anything. I don't know where this comes from. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, there we go, I suppose. Well, so David got out of the Matrix. Welcome. Did Tank help you? Or?
Who do you think he should choose between the 3 women? And you said Peggy. Do you know why?
I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go for it.
I think she was probably, like someone else said, the most down to earth. Kate was great for philosophy, but hold on.
Okay.
Oh, I hear magical tones. Is that Kate calling?
No, someone's calling him to get out of the Matrix now. It's like he got out. Now someone else is calling him.
It's Peggy. Say thank you for your support.
It's my Christmas music clock playing. I forgot.
Nice.
Merry Matrix, everyone.
Merry Matrix.
Merry Matrix. Hold on. I'm going to mute it.
Okay, so you can continue.
Well, the whole thing will hear Christmas.
That's fine.
Well, it'll be Christmas time.
Just mute when you're done. That's it. It's okay.
Okay. With Peggy, it would have to be that she was probably the most down to earth. Kate's a good philosophy. I don't think he could have dealt with Gloria for long. Yes, she was pretty, but I don't think he would have.
Are you saying philosophy's boring? Because if you ask the architect, I agree.
But that's fair. You felt like Peggy was the most down to earth. That's totally fair, David. Yeah. Well, let's now go around and say whether or not we don't give a final rating to our Young Indiana Jones Chronicle reviews, but given having watched this episode, would you want to go on to complete the series and watch the final episode
or the remaining
after this? Or are there more than one? I thought it was just one more.
If you've only seen this one and maybe a couple more, is it enough to make you want to go back and watch the others?
The others, or finish off the series with the final one.
Right.
So, Kitos, would you want to continue and watch the next one, or
no
go back
way.
and watch more? No.
There's only one more, and that's not even close.
Nope. I'm done here. The line must be drawn here, and no further. David, how about you?
I was here for the train one. I was here for the vampire one. And I'm going to say 2 out of 3 would make me want to watch some more of this series.
Okay.
Because this one I enjoyed. I thought it was fun.
Oh, okay.
Shook my head a lot with Indy this one, but I would have been like, well, let me see some more of this.
Yeah. I kind of agree because it wasn't as adventurous as I said, but it was an interesting look, and I enjoyed the history of the ragtime Tin Pan Alley music history behind that. So I'd be curious to see the next episode if I had some downtime, which I don't, so probably not.
Yeah. For me, I was telling someone that this was 45 minutes that would have been better spent watching paint dry because I just detested this episode.
So you watched this at double speed. Did you have a hard time enjoying the music, or
that might be it? Might be it. He didn't have time to listen to the music.
It was very, very peppy.
Watching at 2x speed. My goodness.
Yeah. Well, sue me, okay?
Yeah.
What did Austin say, or whoever it was?
It's a choice is an illusion. You had to watch it at 2x speed.
Yeah. I had to. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we're sort of split. It sounds like according to the Retro Rewind podcast, maybe go see the next one, maybe not. But regardless, that ends our review of episode 21, Scandal of 1920. And for me, for Paul, for David, and for Kitos, we bid you all a whoopah! All right, so we have about 30 minutes for spiritual speculation. I mean, we don't have to go the full
to truncate
amount.
mine to from 40 to 30. Okay.
Oh my gosh, Paul. So I'm going to just go around the table. Anyone need to use the restroom or get water or anything real quick? Okay, go for it now.
Okay,
yeah, I do. Thank you. By the way, since we're in
Edna mode.
Do you this isn't official Edna mode, but okay,
go ahead. It is. You're not including this in, especially about going to the bathroom.
But I'm not putting the outtakes either. No, I don't usually put this part in the outtakes.
Anyway.
Unless I'm really funny happens.
Can you hear me chewing on these M&Ms, or should I stop that during the podcast?
Only when you're talking. I can't hear you chewing otherwise.
All right, so I shouldn't be chewing and talking at the same time like this right now.
Probably not.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. All right.
I do hear the wrapper when you're messing with it, but that's the most noise I hear from it. Let's see. Ashley says, okay, looks like I'll be disappearing again since it's going back to the Matrix focus. Yes, probably a good idea, Ashley. Yeah, thank you for the lurk. Thank you for everyone else who's been here. D. Tungsten, Bobo, Neko. Oh, I think Neko had to leave. But everyone else who's been hanging out, really appreciate you all. So we're going to be doing spiritual speculation. Then I'm going to take a bathroom break now because then we can get right into the next one without me having to take a break. So I'll be right back. David, entertain everyone.
Oh, wow. How's it going, guys? La-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Yeah. A couple minutes ago, it would have been better. Yeah, a couple minutes ago, it would have been better. What in the world? Yeah, a couple minutes ago, it would have been better. Thank you. What in the world? Yeah. What the world? Yeah. What the world? Yeah. What the world? Yeah. I think we've got a glitch in the Matrix.
What's happening?
I don't know. Like, I did a little ditty and it keeps repeating. We've got a glitch in the Matrix.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Oh, your audio is like repeating over and over again. Oh my. You might want to just reconnect or something, maybe?
I might have to. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can go out.
Okay.
What happened? I guess Cardinal had to leave.
Yeah, his audio was acting strangely and just like repeating everything that was being said. Yeah. So
that's weird.
Yeah.
Geek Trojans, how's your breaks going? Let's see. Ashley says, I enjoyed it very much. Hoping that I can say the same for others. Talking about the original Matrix, Ashley, or something else? You guys were talking. Okay, so you guys were talking. Okay. Well, that's weird. I wonder what is happening with David's audio. Oh, let's try this again.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you out of the Matrix again?
I can hear you.
I think I figured out what it was somehow my the speaker got hit on my laptop, and so Diddy
That'll do it.
Repeating.
Gotcha.
That'll be the day.
All right, let's go ahead. Everyone, visual or audio thumbs up if you're ready for spiritual speculations.
Just don't start with me, and I'll come up with one first.
Okay.
I mean, not first.
Hold on. Can I look up my Bible verse real quick so I can have it ready?
Yes, absolutely. I'm actually doing the same. Bum, bum, bum.
All right. Is NIV or would you prefer ESV or is there a preferred translation?
Whichever one you prefer. I don't. I would steer away from
Google popped up, so
I'd steer away from the message. Not that the message is bad, but I want some
Let's
little
go
bit more
for the Ebonics Bible.
correct.
Yo, check this out.
Wow.
Muting the tab again. Bye, y'all. Bye, Ashley.
Oh, bye, Ashley.
Appreciate. Yeah, I don't stick around for the Bible.
Oh my gosh, Paul! It's for the Matrix.
Just don't use the Passion Translation. Oh,
is the Passion Translation bad?
Is that because it's done translated with emotion rather than logic?
Oh my gosh.
Because the passion behind it.
Can I use the Shack translation? Is that the one?
Oh yeah, that's the unfortunately that's the one where everybody goes to heaven translation.
Well, everyone it's a slam dunk.
Oh, that Shack. Sorry, yeah.
No, I meant both, but
I'm glad you put that in it. Yeah, I like that better.
Gosh. Let's see. Hey yo, disciples. Disciples. I put on par with New World Translation. All right, I don't know of those translations.
Is that on par with the New World Order? They came out with their own translation.
Wow. I don't know. Maybe. I am almost ready, guys. Thank you for your patience. Oh my.
Sorry. I forgot to mute.
No worries. Well, I am having trouble finding mine. I have one that kind of works, but doesn't work as well. But
what are you looking for?
So something about how even in the end times, when not everyone will believe in God. Well, even though Jesus comes back, not everyone's going to believe in him. At least I thought that was in Revelation. I could be mistaken.
I think
that's in Matthew 7:21. Not everyone that calls on the Lord.
Well, and yeah, that's a little different than what I'm going for, but
okay,
it's okay. Yeah, I was gonna go with that one anyway.
But that's not every. That's yeah. But the argument is that with that. The reason why they're not allowed into heaven is because even though they call upon the Lord, they don't believe. That's where
sheep and goats. If you're doing YouVersion, look up sheep and goats.
There you go.
Okay.
By the way, for spiritual speculation, does it have to be a question, or can it be something I know?
It can just be a topic.
Mine's a comment, not a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's just something you speculate.
But Kitos, for you, since your name starts with a Q, it does have to be a question.
I don't agree with this, and I will choose another way.
I have another question that I have a bonus question. I have a comment, and then something else was a bonus question. It's a what do you think kind of.
Oh, okay. Almost there, guys. Again, thank you for your patience.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, this will I'll make do.
I do like the Matrix has their own sound effect that's recognizable.
Yes.
That was going to be another like that I was going to throw in there.
Oh, nice. All right. So let's thumbs up if you're ready.
Thumbs up.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I was still looking up your sheeps and goats. Sorry.
Oh, I found that one. I still don't know if it really applies with what I'm going for, but it's okay.
Don't worry about it. On it.
Welcome, Reflex Capacitors, to another edition of Spiritual Speculation, where we talk about the spiritual themes that the movies we cover on the Retro Rewind podcast prompt us to think about. This time, we're speculating about the spiritual themes in the movie The Matrix Reloaded, which we covered at retrorewindpodcast.com/238. You don't have to have listened to that review to appreciate this, but go listen to that anyway. I mean, what's the harm in that? But before we get started in our speculation, let's go around real quick and break the ice, as it were, saying what our name was, what our faith life was like growing up, and what we currently believe now. My name is Francisco. I was raised Presbyterian, which is a Protestant Christian denomination, and I'm currently a non-denominational Protestant Christian. Let's go with David next.
Hello, my name is David. I grew up just left of Westboro and have moved a little bit left, but not as far as most people.
Okay, fair. And Kitos?
My name's Kitos, and my hacker name is Cool Deluxe.
Yes.
And I grew up a Presbyterian, and I am still a Presbyterian.
Fantastic. And Paul?
I was born in this construct where everything around me seemed real, but it's not. And then I learned that it's actually because God created this world, and one day I will be set free from this matrix, and my spirit will go into the quote-unquote real world, which is heaven. So I'm following Jesus that way.
Fantastic, Paul. Yeah. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start with David this time. What is something that you found interesting to speculate on from The Matrix Reloaded?
I kind of focused on, and it kind of bleeds into the next movie of Morpheus after he finds out about the One. Mm-hmm. I mean, throughout the first movie and almost all the way through the Reloaded, you know, he's been focused on the One. Neo's the One. His whole goal of the One. And when he finds out, well, the One was designed to be a human population control and also to kind of balance an equation. So it was another type of control. It didn't ultimately destroy him. I think the loss of his ship and that little quote from the actual Nebuchadnezzar, you know, I've dreamed a dream and it is now gone from me, hit him more than this whole loss of, okay, what I've been going for is not quite the truth, you know, and kind of, you know, and then ultimately, you know, he doesn't get into a little ball and curl up, you know, and I think sometimes in our spiritual life, things that we hold true, there's sometimes get shaken. And some people, they can't bend, they can't break, and then they'll ultimately falter.
Are you talking about people who can't stop reading the King James version?
Paul?
Yeah.
That's me.
Yes, that's
me. I that's my preferred translation personally, but I understand why some people don't like it. I mean, let's use that for an example.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I prefer the King James, and if you want to talk to me privately, we can have that conversation. But I also am flexible enough to realize that a lot of people don't like the 16th century English, you know, the 16th century English, and
what be thou talking about?
What?
I said, what be thou talking about?
Yeah, and usually they over exaggerate, but I mean, and so there are other, you know, I mean, there are other what we would consider more modern language translations. There's a few that I have an issue with, like we discussed a little bit before this started, but you know, there's some, okay, here's a couple of good ones, and but if anybody's reading from one, I'm not going to slap the Bible out of their hands going, get a different translation. People in the circles that I exist in, that would shatter them if they heard somebody reading from a different translation.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was just commenting. I didn't mean to go off on a rabbit trail there.
No, you're good, Paul.
But
you provided well.
That's a good aspect, though, because there are things that can bring someone to sort of a dark night of the soul, and really in this sort of sea of doubt that is God really real? Is he really out there? I thought I knew, but now I don't. And I feel like it's okay. Certainly doubting is an okay place to be. I don't think God is like, you're doubting me? To heck with you. I think that's definitely
hell.
Fine, Paul. All I'm trying to say is that if you're someone who doubts, that's totally a legitimate place to be. I think as long as you realize you don't just stay there, you do also have a posture of faith, even in the midst of your doubt. Like I heard someone give this word picture, which I think kind of works, that faith or doubt is the sea that faith sort of swims in, that they're sort of connected in some way, or they're related to some way, or yeah. I'll stop there.
Yeah, don't want to throw in more confusion. But what you were say the whole point of Morpheus losing, I don't know. Would you say he's losing his faith or readjusting it?
Yeah, I think that's sort of what we have to do sometimes, is readjust. I feel like he readjusts. That's what it is.
And what you brought up, it saddens me. Every once in a while I hear people say, oh, I used to attend church, but they found out they were hypocrites, or I didn't like the way they handled things. And it's all based upon what people have done rather than having
they
God
teach the Bible, like the core things.
It's like they cut God out altogether, because I'm like, well, then who are you following originally? Then it sounds like you were trying to follow an organization rather than God. People are flawed. It breaks my heart when people have tried it, quote unquote, but then got disillusioned, and I'm like, you're missing the main point then. Yeah.
Sort of related to that, it's a semi joke, semi aphorism that there are no perfect churches, and if you find the perfect church, don't join it because you'll ruin it.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, but that bugs me because trying
to find
you think
there are perfect churches?
No, but there should be. Trying to find a good church is really hard for me. That it's like, no, there are legitimate reasons why I don't want to join certain churches. So and it's not because I don't think. Maybe the Lord's still working on my heart. I don't know. But there are legitimate reasons why if a church can be unhealthy and you shouldn't join that is for your spiritual growth, depending on where you are in your walk.
Yeah. But I think, go ahead, David.
I think some of it is that a lot of people think churches are museums of the glorified saints when they're actually field hospitals.
Right. Exactly.
Triage on, almost like a war movie. It's triage on the go,
Right.
And realize that, if you look at any field hospital in any of the war movies or war, if anybody that's actually been through war, it's not a pristine place.
Right.
And that's what looking around, it's people being people. It's, flawed people being flawed.
Yeah. This ain't your country club. This is a hospital.
Is that from something?
No.
Oh, my head.
But I've heard a country club, not a museum, a country club.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. I feel like, I don't know if I have any more to add to that other than, I think, if you have this expectation that the church you go to is going to perfectly meld with you, I think it's almost, in a way, it's similar to romantic relationships, in that you want to find someone that has the core values that you're going to sort of align with.
Equally yoked.
Yeah, and it's almost like you want to find a church that has solid core values.
Equally
and then
yoked.
Yes, okay, I get, yes, equally yoked. And but the preferences, like, oh, they play their traditional music, or only hymns, or they're contemporary, or the carpet's purple, the carpet's red, there's stained glass, there's not stained glass. All that stuff is just preferential stuff that doesn't really have anything to do with the core biblical teaching. So
well, sometimes you want to go to a place where the worship
everyone knows
music is, well, that too. If you're looking to connect rather than get lost in the sea, you know, there's hopefully the church is set up for that. Some churches aren't.
That's a good point.
And if you're looking for a season where you want to be encouraged through song and stuff, I mean, in a live place, hopefully you can find that. And some churches don't provide that. Like I right now I'm going to 2 different churches. One is for the worship song, and the other is for the teaching. So depending on what they
curious. And I mean, any of you,
I'm not saying that's right or wrong, it's just what I'm doing. Go ahead. What are you curious about, Francis? Anytime.
Oh my gosh. What's the why, as a possibility? Like, I imagine there's a good reason to not do what I'm about to suggest. I'm just curious what it is. Why not attend the one where you're for the worship, and then the other one you just listen to sort of the podcast of the message to get the teaching?
It's different being there for me.
Okay.
I like being there.
There is something about being in, not only just the speaker, hearing the speaker live, but being in the presence and being with fellow believers.
Right. It's also a chance to connect with others.
Yeah. I wonder, not to say that we're a church here. I mean, we are the church in terms of that we're all believers, but I wonder if it's similar to the people that are here in chat right now. Hello, everyone who's there. That they like being here live. Not that we're in person, but there is a element of the being there as it happens that is stimulating or draws you in more than
it's a little more dynamic. Yeah,
exactly. All right. Any other thoughts on that aspect of doubt or faith or anything else before we move on? No. All right, then let's go with Paul next. What's something that you that Reloaded sparked in your spiritual imagination?
As Agent Smith said, we are not here because we are free. We are here because we are not free.
Ooh.
Which reminded me exactly of what Romans 6, chapter 6 says, starting at verse 16. This is the NIV translation. It says, "Don't you know that when you offer yourselves to someone as obedient slaves, you are slaves of the one you obey, whether you are slaves to sin, which leads to death, or to obedience, which leads to righteousness. But thanks be to God that through thanks be to God that though you used to be slaves to sin, you have come to obey from your heart the pattern of teaching that has now claimed your allegiance." Verse 18 says, "You have been set free from sin and have become slaves to righteousness." So all this talk of freedom is just an illusion. You're a slave one way or another.
Well, I would say it's not quite yes and no.
Whoa. Okay. Here we go. Let's show Paul what he really meant.
I'll give my take, but Kitos or David, feel free to go ahead.
I'm out of this then.
Oh my gosh. You can share more, Paul, but
all right.
I think I agree with Paul.
Okay. All right.
It's this idea of, like, even if you are choosing your own, will and choosing your own choices and everything, like even with Neo, right? He's making his choices and whatnot. But overall, I mean, he is a slave to something when he is making those choices. Like in the case of making the choice with Trinity, right? And going through that door, he is a slave to his emotions. Even though he makes that choice, and he's free to make either choice, right?
Yeah,
he chooses what he is a slave to, what is like his reason,
Exactly.
Which everyone is a slave to their reason. That's kind of my thing, and I think that goes along with what Paul is saying.
Okay.
One thing I will point out, unfortunately pulling my seminary out here.
Go for it, yeah.
Sorry. I was trying to look up real quick and I can't, and if Dallas is in the chat, he can kind of help with this. I think the word there is a slave, but it's also that one special slave. The slave that in the Old Testament, if there was, you're only supposed to work for a guy 7 years. If you chose to stay with the family, then you would literally bind yourself to the house, both spiritually and symbolically, by getting your ear pierced by them nailing your ear to the door. And so you would put, and so I think that word there, I can't get my thing to come up that fast.
He says
is that choice still, there still is that you're not, you're a slave, but you choose to be bound to this.
It's a choice rather than being picked up by merchants and pushed into shackles and forced labor.
Exactly, Joseph. Exactly. What I was going to comment, and so Geek Devotion says it's a bondservant is what slave means there. Pretty much. I agree with you, Paul, and that we're going to be a slave to someone. We're going to worship something in this world. We could choose to worship ourselves, idols, or we could choose to worship God. And so we are slaves to something. But I feel like we actually, when we're, it's weird how to, I don't know if I can describe it well, but I know that when I've chosen to follow Christ, that then I am actually free to choose not to sin. Like, it's almost like if I haven't chosen Christ, I can't get away from sinning. It's not something, I can do good works in terms of worldly perspective, but I'm not really doing anything that is for the kingdom.
So are you saying you're not a slave to righteousness?
When you're not a Christian? Yeah.
When you are a Christian, are you not a slave to righteousness?
Yeah, you are.
You are, okay.
And you're able to make that choice to. That's the thing. You're able to continue to make that choice, as opposed to I can't. Even though, like Paul talks about how what I want to do, I don't do, and what I don't want to do, I continue to do. So there's still that struggle because we're in a fallen world, but we have the capacity to choose not to sin. You
still have a choice, even though you're a slave, you still have a choice. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. So we're still
I'm not talking about choice. I'm talking about slavery. Sorry. And freedom.
Well, no, but we're free from one thing. Yeah, to essentially we're free to. I think when we're slaves to sin, we don't have a choice. We have to sin. But when we're slaves to God, we have a choice to sin or not to not sin. Does that make sense?
What about the people who don't follow Christ, but they choose to live the quote unquote Christian life, the moral way?
I don't know.
Okay. So I have a thought on that, right? To combine Paul's and Francisco's, right?
Synergize.
Okay, so the idea is, to me, the whole idea of being a slave to something means choosing who your master is, right? Who
you can't be your
do
own,
everything towards. No one is their own person, because we're all born from a mother and father. We're all, from God, created from God.
Yep.
So the idea that you are completely free and alone is never the case. To me, that just is not a thing. You are
Unless
always
you're Matt Damon.
Yeah, you're always a slave to something. But when you choose God, right?
Yeah.
When you choose God, God is one of the few masters that gives you choice every time you choose him. If that makes sense. While other things, if you choose your emotions or your
logic or
anything like that,
chose heroin.
That doesn't necessarily give you choice. Okay. That's kind of the way I look at it.
Yeah, I can say I think I'm tracking with that, Kitos, and
so you're pro-choice is what I'm hearing.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pro a master that gives you the choice to continue choosing.
Yeah. Okay. I think what Geek Devotion says in checks goes along with that, Kitos. Difference between choosing to serve a righteous master or being forced to serve an unrighteous master.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but without even really knowing it, right?
Yeah. Well, that's like everyone in the Matrix doesn't know that they're connected to the Matrix until they're shown that they are.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So they're
yeah.
a slave to the Matrix system or the ruler of the air, so to speak.
Which
exactly
in a way is still, I mean, it's not really their choice, but it was the choice of their fathers. The whole sins of the father, right?
Because well, the whole like, and that's interesting. Sorry to cut you off, Kitos. But it's like Adam is the first man, and he chose the first chosen, and then those 6 all chose to go back to the source, essentially enslaving humans back into sin.
Exactly.
Then Neo was the second Adam that broke everyone out of it.
Yes, exactly. That's kind. Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Let's see. So that was. Wait, was that Kitos's or was that Paul's? I think that was Paul's, right?
That was Paul's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's. You know what? We are out of time. So unless Kitos, you have something that's just like burning in your heart that you have to
let
get
him
out.
Yeah,
say
I do.
Yeah,
I
go
just
for it.
real quick.
Go for it. Yes.
Okay. So I really like the Merovingian character, right?
Merovingian, yeah.
Just as a character, I like
Yes.
him. Yeah, the Frenchman. But I I was racking my brain, like kind of what he really means, right? Spiritually or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
And the way I think of it, right? Because I think of Neo as very much like equates to Jesus and all that kind of stuff, right? But who is the Merovingian, right?
Okay.
And looking at it, because Smith is like, the devil, Lucifer, demons, it's all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the Merovingian, I kind of look at as like the apex of someone without faith, who literally only thinks about cause, effect, accumulation of power.
Yes.
And there's literally, just someone without faith, someone who truly wants to serve no master, right? But there's no end game for him. Like literally all he does is accumulate power, but he doesn't do anything of value, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Good call.
Yeah, because he seems very like the Merovingian seems very connected with inside the Matrix. Like he I don't see a purpose for him outside of like in the machine world.
Yeah.
But he is there to just sort of be this sort of counterbalance to all the good in the world, just as he accumulates more and more power and draws sort of malice towards himself and and then expels it. Yeah, totally. I really like that. Yeah.
I would see the Merovingian as a form of the devil also, and I think they kind of did that then because his wife's name is Persephone. Persephone is the wife of Hades.
Right.
I see. Yeah.
And later on in the next movie, his club is Club Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he is the sophisticated demon. Smith is I'm going to basically destroy the world demon. Devil.
Yeah. See. So here's how. I mean, I sort of synthesizing both.
I'm
those
sorry,
points.
we're out of time. Oh wait, we'll let you go.
Hold on, Geek Devotions. Hold on.
We're almost there. Last point. I'll have the final word. So I would say the Smith is more of the Lucifer, the wanting to destroy everything, just steal and destroy everything, consume the world. But the Merovingian is more like you said, sort of like the more of the king of death. Like almost like not the horseman of death, but in so much as there's a power of hell, like the gatekeeper of hell. I could see him being the case, and then in our worldview, Jesus takes hold of the keys of death and.
Are you the gatekeeper?
Okay, Rick Moranis. All right. So anyway, that's sort of I feel like I just pittered out there at the end. But
yes, have some.
This is Ghostbusters, but it is the end of Spiritual Speculation. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully this was an encouragement to you, or expanded your mind, you freed your mind, maybe even, or just was something that you could chew on more. And if you want to continue this conversation with us, do so in our Partners in Time channel on Discord. And until next time, we're going to end it there. So for me, for Paul, for David, and for Kitos, we bid you all shalom.
That means peace.
It does indeed. Oh my gosh. Thank you, David, so much for being here. It was awesome having you back. And
Love
have
having
a great
you on.
rest of your
You always
day.
bring great insight.
Have a good one.
Indeed. Bye.
Bye.
And I'm going to end the stream. Everyone here in chat, I'm going to end the stream. Neko, Geek Devotions, Bobo, D Tungsten, everyone who's there. End the stream. We'll be right back. I just need to change the title, and I also want to have this be one recording that I'll download the files from, and then we'll have the next one be the next recording that I'll download the files from.
Okay.
So ending the stream. We'll be right back. Yes, after these messages, we'll be right back.
I'm a police officer.